how do you get that separation where you look beyond that fear to actually learn something significant?
And that's what I'm saying. So when you understand you're in that classroom atmosphere, and you're not gonna die, right? Because that's
it feels like it sometimes.
Well, it feels like it, but
Right.
once you get over that fear, then your brain is not thinking about, oh shoot, am I gonna get hurt? Now it's thinking, how do I hit him? How do I get in
Right.
there? How do I block that? How do I maneuver around it? How about that, and not about, oh shit, I'm gonna get hurt. Oh no, I don't want to go. Oh, which way do I go? Which way? Because I'm afraid
Right.
I might get hit. The thing is, you're learning to fight. You're gonna get hit. Stop thinking.
No ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah, you're gonna get hit. I've been knocked in the head. You've been knocked in the head.
Several times.
I mean, it is the way of things.
Right.
It's what we do. We're learning how to fight. And the thing is, getting hit is not a bad thing.
No.
It builds your tolerance to pain.
It really does.
So it's a helpful thing.
Right.
But once we got that through Dion's hand, she started going crazy. She started swinging harder.
She disarmed
She
you.
actually started. Yeah, she disarmed you. She's actually swinging with purpose, and there it was, purpose. She actually started swinging with the notion that, oh, I'm trying to get this guy. I'm
Right.
not afraid of what he does.
Right.
I'm just going to go in there and do what I'm supposed to do, and that's try to hit the guy.
Yeah, you're no longer so concerned with this idea, oh, he's a student above me, or he knows more, or,
Right.
I'm going to disappoint him if I don't do things right. Because you can see it in the way that people respond. They stop doing full swings. They
Right.
kind of do these little half things where they just want to meet sticks just to
Yeah.
feel like they did something.
Right.
But it really
There
amounts to
was
very
no
little.
swing to it. There was no
Right.
power, no proper techniques, no nothing. And it's like, that isn't how to train.
No.
And you have to, get your mindset proper. It has to be in the right place. I mean, the mentality aspect of anybody training has to be spot on, because if it doesn't work up here, it's never going to work here, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we figured that out from the very beginning, that if your brain doesn't catch it or learn it or understand it,
Right, get a good grasp on it.
you can't make it work here in your hands. I mean, it may work as luck, but as something where you're trying to do it specifically at the right time, at the right moments, there's no way. It's too difficult, and you're going to get hurt that way.
Yeah, there has to be an adaptive sense to the changing environment.
And I think, once you start understanding how you are, how you react to fear, and move from there and keep yourself focused on that, once that fear is gone, you're able to focus in on your training more than anything else.
Yeah, our last session too, at one point I remember, going from left to right, up and down, trying to capture or block everything that you were throwing at me. And kind of once I stopped doing that, then I started seeing opportunities like, oh, I can get in here, I can get in here. I just got hit, I'm still alive, I'm gonna keep going.
Now, that was funny that you're bringing that up, because I've always prided myself on getting hit by you guys. Right? I let the students hit me all the time.
Right.
And it isn't because I can't stop it.
Right.
I want the student to feel that their stuff works. So if I see that it's a good technique, it's a good idea, that what
Proper
they're doing,
mindset behind it.
proper
Yeah.
mindset behind it, there's purpose to it, I'll take the hit. Just so they understand, oh, look, it worked.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives them confidence, and it keeps them motivated to work at it more.
Well, you also take pride in then smashing that confidence afterwards.
And then after that, I kill it by destroying everything they ever did, which then makes them want to work harder for it.
Right, for learning purposes. Like, all right, I got it right that time. How do I make it right all the time?
Right. So by doing that, then, me getting hit all the time, what does it do for me though, right? It builds my resistance to pain.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right? I don't even flinch when you guys hit me. I'm like, it is what it is.
And I try. I do try to make you flinch.
I've been hitting the head, I've been hitting the arms, the knuckles always getting cracked.
Knees, nuts,
like, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? But once that fear is gone, then I can really focus on what I'm trying to do. And for the instructor who's having to fight a student who doesn't have the control, who will hit you, on a regular, But if they're hitting
And not
you,
on purpose.
yeah, not on purpose. But if they're hitting you,
Right.
and you have to be prepared for that. But then, what does the student get out of that? And you say, okay, how do we fix these mistakes?
Yeah.
You know, how do you learn then control? How do you focus on the things that are important in that, you know, in that moment that you keep hitting somebody in the back of the head and it's just a fellow student. I mean, it's kind of hard to not take that as malice, you know, or are you just that dumb? Like, God, you need to quit school,
Right.
you know, Yoda, come here. You know, so once you understand that, and then you can move forward. But, you know, like you're implying, it's hard to get to that spot.
Yeah.
And again, that's why we're in class. That's why we're doing what we do, so that we can see it more often. The more often you see certain things, you know, I've always thought that drills weren't really, you know, other than giving you muscle memory, blah, 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 like everybody says. I always look at drills as angles of attack.
Right.
Things that are trying to hit me, and how do I get away from them?
Which again, you break down to the individual.
To individual pieces, like, oh, I know what that is. I can do this to this. I can do that to that. I can do this to that. But if I can't figure out what each piece does independently, it doesn't matter how many times they go in a repetition in a set format, because that set format, you don't fight that with.
You had said something to me too while we were training. This idea of allowing the hit to happen in its completion.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so you get hit, you try to stop it, but you never see it go. Oh, does it go down? Does it go across? Does it go back up?
Right.
But if you, even though you couldn't stop it at the time, and you have to be honest enough to say, oh no way I could have stopped that.
Right.
I just got hit. But where did it end up? Oh, now I can jam it up. Now I can destroy. Now I can pass it.
And we call that, you know, there's again somebody will always tell me, I shadow.
Yeah, you do.
Right, I shadow everything. Like, you know, you'll be swinging, and my weapon is always right behind yours. No matter where you go, I'm always right behind you, following you. At any given time, I can pop in and smack your head. And I do that for the very reason of what you're saying, is that I want to know where that weapon is. I want to know where it's going. Why does it go there? When he swings this way, why does it go where it goes? When I try to stop it, am I stopping it cold, or do I let it slide off and continue? So when it continues, oh, I know it's over there, so I can hit you here. If I stop it here, then I can jam something else up, right? Oh, he's something just popped in his head, folks. Let's hear this, right? Because once you understand and when you can control where that weapon goes,
right, then you're better off.
Then you're better off, because now you're one step ahead of your opponent.
It's the equivalent of placing the weapon where you want it to be, just
if
by
I go,
understanding.
boom, oh, let me shove it down here.
Right.
Now, oh, there it is. Boom, now I got a headshot.
And then what popped into my head just now was this idea that I've always said that for a person who doesn't move a lot, you move a lot.
Now, I'm going to tell you a secret about the other day when I popped you with the back fist. I controlled that whole thing, and I'll tell you how, and if you look at the video, you'll see it. So I started off with being wide, pop, 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 staying out here, right? And as you started to get comfortable, I started to come in close, right? And we started to get, you know, really close quarter.
Yeah, you
where I jammed, right? And what did I do? My last strike was coming across you. It didn't hit you. I actually just brought it over. I really didn't swing at you because I was too close to get a good swing. So I brought it in here.
Just to set up for something else?
Knowing that this was going to happen, because I was going to hit you, but I was already too close. So let me just tuck the stick under.
Yeah, instead of getting caught up.
Right. I got it caught up on my own. Rather than having you in here, jamming me here,
right.
I went, boom, my hand's here. As I come from the back, I said I'm clear because of everything I know. I understand. So, then I could grab the stick back and start beating the shit out of you.
So again, the understanding of not just where the opponent's weapon ends up,
it's
but
where
where
I put
you end up.
Yeah, it's where I was going to put you, because what had happened? Both your hands were over this side to you.
Yeah.
Right? You couldn't even bring it around to do anything with it.
Yeah, weapon was
I
too
jammed your hands way over here, right? And when I came up over, and that's what it was. I controlled that whole scenario from the beginning of that thing. Now, did I know that was going to work that way? I had a good idea, because I knew that once I got in close enough, you weren't going to be able to freely move your hands around, right? I mean, that's the logic of that.
Right.
That's why we come in, because we want to jam the person up. And by doing that, I knew where your hands were at all times. And I knew you were not going to defend my back fist because your whole shoulder and everything was wide open for me to hit. So, yeah, that was actually you know, and I'm not trying to, brag or anything about it, but I understood the logic of what was going on. It wasn't, if you look at the video, you can clearly see me actually brushing your hands to the one side. Both your hands went, it just kind of walked over there, right? And your hands were not where they should have been, which was one here, or whatever. That never happened. Because both your hands went and followed me where I went.
Yeah. And then you were turned sideways, so even if I could get to one side,
Yeah.
I'd still be
I went
reaching.
here,
Yeah.
and the back fist came over here. I got off your square,
Yeah.
followed my own.
Those little movements that equate to a lot that you do so readily.
Yeah. But you start to and Danny will love this phrase. You feel it. You feel that, oh, this is all working properly the way it should. I'm going to be able to get this shot in, and there it was. Now, I know I said earlier that it's something that happenstance, but I made that happen for that purpose of doing that. Now, you look at the video, you're actually going to see it happen. You can be like, this asshole.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it as soon as we're done with
it. And I'll actually post a video on the tail end of this, just so you can see that. It was an idea that I had going into that. How would I get Nain to follow my weapon? Which is what we tell people to do, right? We say, oh, keep track of that weapon. You got to know where it is. So I said, here, Nain, look, my hand's over here now. And you brought both your hands here, which cleared that, which got me to go there. Look at it. It's going to piss you off more than it does anything else, because you're going to realize, crap.
Yeah, if I'm already pissed as I am right now, seeing it for myself is just going to be worse.
You're going to laugh. You're going to be like, oh, the old man.
But again, the realization that I had earlier was on the context of that.
Yeah.
So when you understand, okay, these two bodies are moving, oh, I have a good idea where that's going to end up. Well, why don't I end up, make him feel like he's doing the right thing and then smack.
Yeah. Isn't that what I do?
Yeah, you have quite a strong tendency to do that very often.
If you give your students something to hit at, they're going to do that because they feel that's the right thing to do. So if I understand what the right thing to do is, why don't I give you that? Then I'm actually ahead of you again, right?
Damn chess reference again.
Yeah, right. Because I'm 2 steps ahead here.
Right.
I know you got to block this. Here it comes. Block that. Oh, great. Now I can do what I'm going to do. I mean, isn't that what fighting is all about?
Yeah.
If I'm good enough to understand that when I throw my punch, you have to block that or do something against it, then I already know what you're going to do. But if I put it in a place specific to a certain block that you have to use, even more so. But if I'm just swinging wildly, no.
Right.
If I say, oh, look, it's coming right here, this is the height, blah, 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 then you're going to deal with that specifically in a certain way. Good. It's like the old thing about the knife, right? This is coming here,
right.
All of a sudden I turn it under.
No, it's a cut.
Yeah. Same exact idea. Because you're going to defend it. Oh, good, I'll just cut it under and I'll go in. It's again, all of this stuff is by understanding what the body can and can't do, and what the brain allows that body to do or not do, right? Because if we're constantly saying that it's the mentality aspect and that you have to do these things, then I have to also then understand that you're doing the same thing. That when you see certain things, your brain will react with a certain way, and if I understand what that certain way has to be, then I'm a step ahead of you.
And then that's why the idea of then putting fear in the proper place, not in the class aspect because you're in a safe environment, but understand that in a real world situation you will have that fear.
Right.
That it can become...
Mel! Sorry folks,
the dog wants to go upstairs.
He wants to go upstairs and...
He can't because he's overweight.
Yes.
You need to put him on a diet. You know you have a treadmill you can put him on, right?
He doesn't like it.
You tried it already?
He puts both feet down and he just goes... Hey, can you bring Yoda upstairs? Yeah.
That's too funny.
it's funny because he'll freeze up.
Yeah,
And he's moving backwards. And I have it on the slowest setting so he doesn't get hurt.
That's funny.
But he just tenses up
That's
and he just
funny.
goes. Yeah, it's fun. I should video it.
Yeah, but even that right now, because talking about this conversation of knowing what things mean or how they can progress, him tapping back and forth, because I could hear his claws tapping from one side to the other. He
Yeah.
comes in, looks at you, then he tries to go over there, then he comes with
Like,
you.
somebody want to take me upstairs or not? Come on, bring me upstairs. Hello.
But going back to that point of finally getting over this sense of fear, because I don't know how many classes talk about this idea.
Yeah, and I've been through a bunch of classes where that really, I don't really readily hear that as a conversation piece.
Right.
You know, how do you overcome your fear when you're in a fight? You know, what do we say? Breathe, relax, get the cortisol to come back
Right.
down.
Train like you fight like you train.
Right? And for people to say, oh my God, well, you don't do that.
Right, because then that becomes a reaction. Like
Yeah.
you were talking about earlier, you said reaction versus acting on something.
Right.
The reactive one usually comes with a lot of fear of, oh my God,
Yeah.
oh, punch is coming, yeah.
Yeah. And that's where everybody gets hurt.
Hmm.
But if you understand that, oh, okay, it's coming, that's okay, I can deal with it, I'm cool. Oh, I'll
Right.
just do this. Just, oh, nope. And that's why you see boxers, right? You see this how relaxed. You ever watch Manny Pacquiao? He never looks like he's freaking out or anything. He's just, if he gets hit, like, and he keeps going. That's why his face is flat. But, boxers,
was
professional
landing on his
boxers,
face.
they don't freak out.
Yeah.
They understand, even in MMA, when these guys get tied up in some kind of a jiu-jitsu hold, they're not panicking. They're just like,
Right, you can tell the ones that tense up are usually the ones that are going to end up on the on the wrong
bad
end
of
of
that
that,
fight,
yeah.
right? But Hoist Gracie, incredible jiu-jitsu guy.
Oh,
Right?
most
He had his arm. I
relaxed.
think it was Matt Hughes who grabbed his arm
Yeah.
and was tweaking it all the way back, and you would think it would break. He's like, "Da, da, da," and he just
Waiting,
he just sat there like,
waiting.
and for a good 10 minutes, this guy's yanking his arm back, and Hoist is like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Because he didn't tense up, he was
No,
relaxed.
he was relaxed,
Yeah.
and he had such flexibility in the guy that it didn't bother him the way it would have bothered anybody else.
Right, because most people would automatically...
tap, tap, tap. It's like, I'm done. And he was like, this is nothing.
Until the guy loosened up enough and...
Yeah, and then he was able to do what he was doing.
Right.
He still lost, but still, to his credit,
Right.
it didn't faze him. Even in the loss, you're like, okay.
Can't win them all.
Yeah. But you got to admire that because it really shows the focus that these guys have.
Yeah, the mindset.
Yeah, and the focus on what they're doing and what they got to do, and not panicking and understanding they're not gonna die.
Right.
Right?
Because it is a controlled environment. It
Yeah,
is
just like our
rules,
classrooms are a controlled
regulations,
environment.
yeah.
Students shouldn't be afraid when the teacher says, "Okay, today we're gonna do stress test. I'm gonna be beating the crap out of you. Defend yourself."
All right.
And what's the first thing they say? Oh shit! Oh no! Oh my God! Oh shoot! Okay, and they're freaking out.
And then they hesitate from actually doing anything
Right,
significant.
and they can't do anything intelligent.
Right. Cortisol does make you dumb.
It's funny. Bob and I had a conversation today about that very thing. That the students, they panic, and in that panic, you're only going to do, 2% of the things that you actually know, right? And then those are the things that you practice so often and so much that it's going to come out automatically.
And not necessarily in the right way or at the right time.
Right, and it's never the right thing, but that's all you know, and it hits air, it's an
Right.
air ball, and it's like,
Unless you get lucky in that.
yeah, and that's just pure luck at that point, because again, if those are the only two things you do, right? I remember a time I had a student that he was so repetitious that I had to call him on it, because he would do his moves, and I'd block, 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 block. I go, what else you got? And then he'd go again, going real hard, block, block, block. And I said, you're predictable, right? And he goes, well, no, I'm trying. I said, no, you only have those many moves that you practice so hard that that's all that's coming up. And I know exactly where they are, when they're going to be, and da-da-da, and okay.
So why do you talk about me in the third person? Because
Oh, wait. That was you. That was you. Yeah.
Man, you said unpredictable just like 3 weeks ago. That wasn't even... That was 3 weeks ago. God damn it.
And then I go to prove it.
That's the sad part, is because half the time I'm angry enough at him that I don't believe him, and then he shows me, and then I'm even angrier that I didn't believe him and just went with the lesson. But I'm kind of hard headed that way. I have to learn through